arguably Kenya's best actor, period, Oliver Litondo. We're also joined by a young man. I tell you, man, this man, not only was he the producer of the film The First Grader, starring Kimani Maruge, the 81-year-old who decided to go back to school because of free education, he produced it and funded it. Before that, Hotel Rwanda was his baby. This man, his affiliation with Africa goes back. You know why? He's actually originally from Sierra Leone. His father was the country's independence president, Siaka Stevens, those of you who remember. That was his grandfather, rather, his grandfather. So this young man, his affiliation to Africa, tight, deep. So, after The First Grader, went back, won a whole bunch of awards. He decides, you know what? I want to give back. So a few weeks ago, he started this NGO called End Malaria Now, EMN. And he came back with 10,000 malaria nets and distributed them up and down Mombasa, Kwale, Kilifi County. Just out of CSR. On his own. Just like that. He didn't have to. He could have gone back to Hollywood and made other movies. He decided to come back and give back. I tell you, man. And the other day we decided, we convinced him to stay back in Kenya to come on this interview. Richard Harding is here. Twitter handle at Richard Harding. Yes?
Yes.
At Richard Harding,
yes.
And becomes Junior, right? But Richard
Absolutely,
Harding.
yes.
Yeah. Oliver Litondo is still here, so at Oliver Litondo and at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag, Keep It Kenyan. Richard.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you, man.
Lovely seeing you, Brother Jeff.
Good to see you the other night.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and
Which night was this?
So why do they call him General?
Why they call him the General?
No, why do they call him General?
They call him the General because he's a general. You can't get me. You can't get me.
He didn't hesitate. There's a word missing.
There's a word missing. Jeff, we're on air. At the house, that's cool.
All right. So
Yes,
why did
sir.
you decide to get on board with The First Grader, first of all?
Well, The First Grader, I mean, we saw an article in the Los Angeles Times about, you know, this old man, Kimani Maruge, that went to school for the first time in his life. You know, we thought it would be, it was a very inspirational story. We thought it would make a great film. So we contacted journalists at the LA Times, who was based in South Africa at the time, and, you know, asked about the story about the old man, and we realized he resided in Kenya, and, you know, the very next week we flew out to meet the old man and his teacher, Jane Obinchu, and, you know, after listening to his story, you know, we thought to ourselves, what a remarkable story, because a lot of the films that come out of Africa deal with famine, genocide, wars, you know, mutilations, and, you know, female circumcision. So we wanted to tell a story that came out of Africa with a very positive message. And what better story to tell than a story about an 84-year-old man who fights really hard to go to school for the first time in his life.
Yeah.
A universal story.
Absolutely. When you saw this man, Oliver Litondo, coming to audition for that role, what did you think?
Amazing.
Really?
Absolutely amazing. I mean, we almost scour the globe looking, you know, for somebody to play Kimani.
I heard Morgan was one of the people.
Yeah,
Morgan Freeman.
Was one of the people that we had talked to at one point. You know, and Morgan, you know, I mean, after discussing it, we realized he was not the guy for this, and so the search continued. And somebody mentioned Oliver, but, you know, I had not known who Oliver was, and, you know, so we were searching for Oliver and just couldn't find him.
He was raising chickens in Kakamega.
You know, and when Oliver came, and, you know, it kind of put everybody on a freeze frame. And we realized we found our Maruge.
What did that tell you about the talent on the ground? What did that tell you?
The talent on the ground in Kenya? There's a lot of talent here. A lot of amazing talent in Kenya.
Yeah.
Actors, directors, producers. There's a huge community of great talent in Kenya that needs to be cultivated and continue to grow, and it needs to be encouraged.
Absolutely. And Oliver,
Yes.
when you read that script,
Yes.
because you know you didn't have much sleep time. Remember, you tell us the story. You took the
Yes.
bus overnight.
Yes.
The hotel room wasn't ready. They shoved the script in your face and they said, "Come read this."
Yes.
Did you know? Did you have enough time to prepare for this moment?
Well, I had to read the part that the director gave me for the audition. Well, audition. So I did. He gave me about 15 minutes. The camera was there already. I went through the 2 pages that he had given me. I tried as much as possible to memorize the 2 pages. So I went before the
So
camera.
you weren't reading as you were going.
No. I had to have it already in my head.
Oh man.
So I went before the camera and
Yeah.
Maruge is saying this, Maruge is saying that, and so is saying that. And, you know, it just came out as if I had the script for a long time.
Richard, did you think this movie would win so many awards? Because, you know, film festival after film festival, people love this movie, right?
Yeah, people love the film. I mean, you know, as a filmmaker, when you make a film, you make it for the love and the passion. You don't think awards, you know, or else you'll never get a film made. You know, so the awards, we won a little over 24 awards around the world and in the United States, and you know, that for us was just icing on the cake after making such a wonderful film.
Yeah.
You know.
And I was saying earlier on, you could have moved on.
Yeah.
You could have moved on to your next movie.
Yeah.
You decided to come back.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I mean, look, Kenya gave us, or it gave me, you know, and the rest of, you know, the other producers the opportunity to make a remarkable film that won many awards. You know, so what better way to thank the Kenyan people than to come here with something special? You know, I co-founded an organization called End Malaria Now, and what we do is that we provide bed nets to African families throughout the world, throughout the continent of Africa. You know, so we take thousands of bed nets every year to a particular country. This year we chose Kenya. You know.
Yeah. Where's the money coming from? Friends.
Well, I mean, friends, but we get donations from the United States, people from the United States, citizens, corporations, sponsors, and, you know, we got enough to provide 10,000 bed nets, you know, to Kenya, and we took it to the coast.
You know, there's a quote from you in one of the papers that said, you know, you saw the state of the children dying ridiculously. There's a word you use. You just said, you know, they're dying. They didn't have to die.
Correct. You know, and it's sad. You know, they don't have to die. You know, because malaria is easily prevented. You know, and that's why we believe we can help end the spread of malaria one bed net at a time. And that's what we do. And we hang up the nets ourselves. 10,000 bed nets,
10,000,
hanging it up ourselves. You know, we went to colleges, we went to universities, we went to boarding homes, you know, we went to orphanages, lots of orphanages, you know, schools for the blind, schools for the deaf, convalescent homes for the elderly.
Wow.
And we hung up these nets one net at a time.
10,000.
10,000, all 10,000.
When are you coming back next for more, or is that another country?
Well, I mean, next year we go to Rwanda.
Yeah.
We go next year.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of Rwanda,
yes, sir.
Hotel Rwanda.
Yes.
You were the guy. I didn't even know that.
Well, Hotel Rwanda actually was not my film. We helped finance Hotel Rwanda. We had other producers that were on the film, that produced the film. We just helped finance Hotel Rwanda, which was a remarkable film,
Great
you know,
film.
that needed
Great
to get
film.
made. You know, so we were very happy and grateful to be involved in that film.
And Oliver, you know, this is where I keep saying we go wrong. These movies that are being taken to South Africa, Westgate.
Yes.
You think the Rwandans will allow a Westgate to be filmed anywhere else?
I want to hear what Richard will say about that first.
I'm not Rwandan, so I wouldn't know.
No, but should Westgate go to South Africa?
Well, I mean, look, Westgate's not my film either, you know,
But
so I can't really speak for the producers.
Yes.
The producer of Westgate's a good friend of mine. Him and I are producing our next film called The Translator, which unfortunately also is going to South Africa.
Is it a
But-
Kenyan film?
No, it's a Sudanese film that could be shot in Kenya. Because we did locations. I
But
mean,
you're going to South Africa?
currently, right now, that's where we're headed. Yes. It's
What the-
yeah. Go ahead.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, look. I mean,
Because you're disappointed in the lack of incentives here?
yeah. I would say yes. I mean, there aren't incentives that encourages us to shoot here. So unfortunately, we have to go where it's more economical to make a movie. You know, I mean, look. I think Kenya is one of the most remarkable countries in the world. You know, I look at Kenya as my adopted country outside of the United States. This is home. in that sense, you know. And there's a lot of really great locations to shoot films. There's a lot of really great talent, you know, and there's a lot of great opportunity for films to be made. And I think the unfortunate thing is what you touched on earlier. Kenya started making films well before South Africa, got lots of awards from the film out of Africa, but then things just stopped.
Yeah.
And South Africa came in and overtook. You know,
and it's still overtaking.
well, yeah. South Africa makes, you know, over $1 billion in films every year.
Yeah.
Oliver, isn't that disappointing?
It is disappointing, but as disappointing as it is, Richard and I are going to team together to co-produce films about Kenya and in Kenya. His Sixth Sense Productions, we hopefully are going to co-produce
His
some of the
Sixth Sense
films.
and your Lakewood.
And my and my wife's Lakewood film, Beldina Uma. We formed this company, which is registered in the US. It's also registered here. My wife and I being Kenyans. This guy has decided that Kenya is going to be his second home. We are going to team together. My wife has also got a company called Strategic Communications and Investment Publicity, which is going to help to push these films to the international audience.
Yeah. Richard, can we win it back? Can we win it back?
Yeah.
Can we win back that?
Well, I mean, of course. I mean, I feel that not only can you win back, you know, the translator and any other film that may or may not be leaving, and prevent others from leaving. Of course, it could be won back, and that's with, you know, incentives that will prevent them from going. You know, because if you're going to make a $10 million film, and you can get money from South Africa, like, you know, $3-4 million that will bring your budget costs down. You know, you're not going to come, you know, here where it's going to cost more, where there's not going to be any incentive that's going to offset the $10 million. You know, I mean, look at it this way, okay? When we were going to make The First Grader, okay, it's a Kenyan film, but I didn't even know you could make films in Kenya. So we were going to South Africa, because South Africans have an office in Los Angeles, you know, and they invited us to an event. So we went there, you know, we were at the events, and we were planning to go shoot in South Africa, you know, and, you know, a lady by the name of Wamboy Kare, Wamboy Production Films, you know, saw me there, asked me questions, and I told her why I'm here, and she's Kenyan. You know, and she says, you do not want to go to South Africa. She says, you got to come to Kenya,
You're kidding me.
Yeah, so
that boy convinced you?
Yeah, and that's how we came to Kenya.
You were going to shoot Maruga in South Africa?
Yeah.
With some Zulu guy as Kimani Maruga?
I didn't know there was an option to shoot it here.
Oh,
I did not.
No.
You know?
Are you kidding me?
No, I am not. No, I am not. No, I am not. So when we decided to come out here, you know, we also did go to South Africa, because it costs less to shoot it there. It did. So we had to go there. You know, so it was a bit of a challenge, because the South Africans were going to give us money. So at the end of the day, it made no sense to us to shoot our film in South Africa and replicate Kenya when Kenya already existed.
And that's what they're doing with Westgate. That's what they're doing with Dan Eldon. That's what they're doing with all the films.
Exactly. So what we did instead is that we decided to come back here, and we worked with a company called Blue Sky. Jim and Mario did amazing with the numbers. Because I mean, you had to make the numbers work. You know, we had to take, you know, pay cuts and all that stuff, and Blue Sky came in and fixed the numbers, and that's what kept us here.
Yeah.
That's what kept us here. If Blue Sky had not done that, we would have gone to South Africa.
I was in the movie, you know that?
Yes, you were in the deleted scenes. No, I'm sorry. You were deleted from the deleted scenes.
But Jeff, all is not lost.
This hope.
You're coming back.
That's right.
I'm going to be undeleted.
Deleted.
Yeah. In the resurrection.
But gentlemen, seriously.
Let's take a quick break. Come back and talk.
We shall
delete it from the deleted.
Yes, but we shall
deleted from the deleted that was deleted.